Click record. So tonight we are going to be discussing goals. Right? It makes sense. We're coming at the end of 2015, heading into 2016, which, oh my gosh, like I remember when it was 1999. It's crazy that it's 2015. I think they did sci-fi movies about 2015 and 2016. But anyway, so it's the time of year for reflection. It's the time of year for those New Year's resolutions. It's a great time to go back and make those goals for 2016, and how we can make 2016 the best year ever. Best year ever. We are in the right place for people that are making those goals. They're making those New Year's resolutions, guys. That is why January, February, March are our biggest months, okay? So get ready and hold on, and it's going to be awesome, okay? So, but first off, what we need to do before we can make our goals, and we have to reflect personally. So we have other people making their goals. They're making their health goals, and they're, want to lose 20 pounds, and they want to start going to the gym, and, they're going to join that gym membership, right? And then they're going to go for a week, and then they're going to fall off, and right? So, but first we need to reflect personally on our goals. So I don't know about you guys, but I've always heard to make goals. And I think most of us on this call believe that goals are very, very important. Or at least, we've heard that they are. But let's go further and think about why we want to make a goal, okay? And I know that if I figure out why I do something, I am more likely, number one, to do it, and number two, to stick to it. I don't know if anybody else is like that. Okay, so sometimes it's helpful to hear somebody else's why. It's helpful to hear somebody else's goals that they have tried to accomplish. Not tried, they are accomplishing. And so that's why I want to do a testimony tonight, okay? So I have asked Alaire Brown to give us her testimony, her why, like what her goals were, kind of, and just really her, 3 to 5 minute testimony on her that she's had so far with Plexus. She has an amazing, amazing testimony. So Alaire, I'm gonna unmute you, or you do it. You got Alaire is in Colorado, and thank you so very much for doing this. So if you wouldn't mind just sharing with us 3 to 5 minutes. And then maybe share, if I did not ask her beforehand, but if you know what your goals are for your business, if you know what your continued goals are for your, weight loss, your health, like that, please feel free to share them. But if you don't feel comfortable doing that, I totally put you on the spot.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Can you hear me okay? Okay. So yeah, I initially started Plexus. I just got promoted to senior ambassador right now, so I guess I'm a senior ambassador. I started Plexus initially just to meet my goals of weight loss and just to get healthier, like I was back in high school when I was playing softball all the time. And in November of 2012, I was hit head on by a drunk driver, and I shouldn't have survived, but I did. But it threw my whole life through a loop. I was a correctional officer. I was driving home. I lost my job. I shouldn't have lived, but I did. But living came with a lot of consequences. It came with a lot of pain and a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety. And in March of 2013, I actually attempted suicide because I just couldn't do it anymore. I was put in a place that they call here Peak View, to where it was a behavioral institute to get me back on track. It got me back on track, but I still did not feel well about myself. I gained about 50 pounds. I was not happy with myself. And then I saw Audra kept posting about Plexus. I asked her about it in February, and I was like, no, I can't afford it. Can't do it. Finally, come just September, I had saw her one last post, and she looked amazing. And I was like, that's it. I have to put money aside for me to be able to do this. I have to say yes to myself. And so I said yes to myself, and literally only because she kept telling me it's a 60-day money back guarantee. I was like, okay, at least I can get my money back just in case. Literally 2 days before I could have canceled, I was like, there's no way. In November, I was so busy. I was not good with my water intake. I was not good with taking all my Plexus. I was like, there's no way I did anything to my body. And I did not listen to Audra when she told me to stay off the scale. So I was getting mad at myself for not staying off the scale. But then I took my picture. And when I took my picture, I was shocked. I could not believe how much but my body had changed. I was skinnier. My pants were falling off of me. I could not believe it. And so I was like, nope, that's it. Went home, talked to Audra that day because I was in Denver at the time. And I was like, I think I need to share this with everybody. I took my measurements, and actually that month I lost 4 inches just in that month. And that was with barely even trying. And so, I mean, it really took my whole life in a different path. I was on 9 different medications for pain, inflammation, anxiety, depression, sleeping. I was on strong sleeping pills for all 3 years, 9 medications for 3 years. They could not do anything for me, even acupuncture, nothing, to get my pain where it needed to be and for me to be healthy again. And I was not able to play softball for 1.5 years. And I don't know a lot of people on here that might know me, but I'm a softball fanatic. So you take me away from softball my whole life through a loop. And so when I got on Plexus, I was able to be myself again and have more energy. I'm off all 9 of my medications. It took about not even 2 weeks, and I stopped taking my trazodone for my sleeping. I have not taken a Percocet in 3 months. I have not taken a Naproxen in 3 months. It's just been a whole different world as far as the medications that I'm taking. I don't have to take them anymore, and I don't have to pay for them anymore. And I feel better every single day. Every day I don't get up and be like, oh my gosh, my body hurts so bad. I get up happy. I get up so refreshed and so energized and so excited to share this with everybody. So when I initially started and I was like, I'm going to do Ambassador, I had no idea that it was for wholesale price really, because I haven't really talked about it. And so that was a huge perk for me too. And I was like, sweet. And so then I started posting my picture. And the moment that I posted that picture that I was in shock with, a lot of people started talking to me about it because they had no idea that I was on it. It was like kind of a hidden little secret to myself. And I was so happy to be able to share it again and to be able to be happy. And so it's just getting better and better as the days go by even. And I now got my boyfriend to take Slim, and let me tell you, he's a lot more bearable now. He's been doing awesome, and it's just been a whirlwind of a change for me. And then now everybody that I know, from softball to just my friends and my family, I'm going to Illinois this next week. I'm leaving on Wednesday to share more of Plexus out there. Everybody is looking at me saying, wow, what did you do? And my biggest thing when I first started was I still, according to my doctor, was not allowed to be physically active. But I played softball, medicated, of course. And so when I started Plexus, I'm like, I don't have the time to work out. I'm a nanny for a living, and I was working 60 to 70 hours a week. I just didn't have time for it. But with Plexus, I didn't have to work out at the time. What Audra told me is go at your own pace. Do what you do. Be strong with you. And so that's what I did. I went at my own pace. When I play softball again, I'm going to have even better results. The last picture that I just took this last week, that was the smallest I've been since high school. And I was so happy. Finally, for once, my mom looked at me and said, I'm proud of you. So that's why I'm on Plexus, and I will stay on Plexus. My goal in the beginning, and still is, to help everybody else around me. That's how I've always been. Always wanted to make the world a different place. But now it's not only to help people, but also to get me to be financially stable and be able to say, I can do this, because after not being able to work for 2 years after my car accident, it really put me in a rut, and now I get to do it from home.
Oh, wow. I love your story. Did y'all see the picture that I put up? Did y'all see that when I shared the screen? Oh my gosh. I mean, her story is absolutely amazing. And, and you've got some big goals, Alaria. You've got some big goals with Plexus, and I'm super excited to see those come to life. So, you got a question.
3 months.
How long have you been on Plexus?
3 months.
3 months.
No, yeah, 3 months.
Yep. Awesome.
No, that's inaccurate. Technically 3 months. So September 25th to December 25th. So actually 2 months.
No, 3 months. September, October, November, December. Right?
Sure. Okay, 3 months.
3 months. Good. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that. So,
Thank you for having me.
yes, thank you. Thank you. And next week we are going to hear from Allison Porter's husband, Dave Brown. I cannot wait to hear about that. So, and if you, Alaire, have not hooked up with Aaron Kramer yet, you guys have very similar, or not very similar, but there's some similar characteristics with your testimonies. Okay, so goals are really important. Alaire had a goal, right? She made her mind up, and she decided she was be intentional, and she was going to do what it took to get it done. Okay, so it is awesome to have goals. We set goals in the hopes of moving forward, right? Goals help build our character. They build our integrity, because those that accomplish the goals, they're going to do what they say they're going to do, right? People are looking at her and being like, wow, she said she was going to do this, and look, she's done it. Okay, so her level of influence and how people look at her has just elevated, which is awesome. Good goals that are fueled with consistency, discipline, and action are the ones that are going to be rewarded. But first of all, it is up to you to determine why you want to set your goal. What do you want? Okay, so before we even get into how to set a goal, what about a goal? You've got to know why. Think about it. Where do you want to be in a month? Where do you want to be in a year? Where do you want to be in 5 years? You see, without knowing that, we cannot plan on how to get there. And the plan is the intention behind that dream, behind that vision to get us to that dream. Figure out what your dreams are and what motivates you. If you don't know what that is your first step. Okay? We've got to understand why we're setting a goal. So ask yourself the question. I know many of you guys have heard me ask this. If there is no chance of failure, what would you want to achieve? What would your life look like? What would you be doing? Okay, dream big. Imagine those possibilities and then write that down. Make a dream board. Write down where you want to be. And why do we ask you to write it down? Why do we ask you to write down your goals, your dreams? So you can look at it, so I can look at it. You know, I have it in my planner for 2016. I started my goals. What I wanted to accomplish in 2016, and it's in my planner, so I can refer to it every day, especially on those days that are discouraging, right? Especially on those days when you have a customer calling you, it doesn't work, or your car breaks down or something, especially on those days that it's hard. That's why writing them down is so super important. Okay, so now we know why we want to set a goal. We become convicted over it. We're going to write it down. Like I said, people who don't write down their goals tend to fail easier than the ones who have it written down, who have the plan. But setting the goal is only half the job. We've got to take action on it. Think about it this way. If you don't have a goal, you don't have a plan for your life, then basically we're making the choice to let somebody else dictate what's going to happen to our lives. If we're not intentional about what's going to happen to our life, basically somebody else is doing it for us. They're running our life. So because failure to plan is planning to fail. No one gets to where they want to go without a plan, but they have to be smart goals, okay? The goals that we want to set have to be smart. If anybody has studied this, SMART stands for something, okay? The S stands for specific. We have to specifically say exactly what we want to achieve. We can't just say, oh, I want to lose 20 pounds. No, I want to lose 20 pounds by a certain date. I want to be 120 pounds or 150 pounds. Like set the specific, be as specific and detailed as possible. They've got to be measurable goals. We've got to be able to track the process. That's the M in SMART, measurable goals. Okay, so we can measure the outcome. I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay, not just I want to lose weight, I want to lose 20 pounds. So they're measurable. You know where you're starting, you know where you're finishing. Weight loss just happens to be the easiest example. So that's what I'm using because we've all done that, right? I know I've done that. They've got to be action oriented. We've got to, that's the A in SMART. We've got to be action oriented. Think about 3 things that you're going to do and be intentional on every single day to get us to take action towards that goal. Okay. And then those choices that are relative to that action, that's what's so important. Consistently doing something small every single day is eventually going to get you to your goal. Okay. So it could be, I'm going to exercise 30 minutes a day. I'm going to, and even you could be even more specific than that. I'm going to walk on the treadmill 30 minutes, a day, or I am going to cut my portion size in half every single day. I'm going to, so specific action oriented things that go towards that goal, but they've got to be realistic and they've got to be relevant. We can't say I want to lose 20 pounds by next Tuesday. Like that's not realistic. Okay. So being realistic and relevant is very important. And T, they've got to be time-based. You've got to have a time limit. I want to lose 20 pounds by convention. Okay. Or, and really start with your long-term goals. Start with a 5-year goal. Where do you want to be in 5 years? That's where that dream and that vision really comes into play. And I don't know about y'all, but I had a really hard time with that when I first started. It really took some coaching. R was realistic and relevant. And then T was time-based. So SMART, specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and relevant, and time-based. But I know I had a hard time thinking about where I wanted to be 5 years from now when I first started on some personal development, because I was in survival mode. Like I was like just good if I could make it to bed that night, if I could just get through the day. And so sometimes it's hard for us to just sit back, really reflect, pray, think about where we want to be. Okay, so start with your long-term goals, and then that'll help you to achieve those short-term goals. But you got to have the action plan. Okay, you've got to have the things you're going to do to get there. That'll keep you on track so you can focus on the important things to, for example, grow your business. Okay, or lose weight, and then work down towards your 1-year goal, your 6-month goal, your monthly goal, your weekly goal, your daily goal. Okay, so let's talk real quick about some of the tips for developing goals. Okay, and how to be successful with that. Number 1, you've got to be organized. Okay, we've talked about writing them down. Okay, where we can see them. That's part of the organization part. Write them down. Separate them into categories. Personally, I don't just have a business goal. I have a spiritual goal. I have a family goal. I have, I want to go on a date night with each one of my 4 children once a month. I have a business goal. I have a health goal, and I have financial goals. Okay, so I've got specific categories of goals because I want to be as specific as possible, and they're all different parts of our lives, right? So decide how many hours or days, how many hours a day or weeks or whatever the time frame is that you want to dedicate to that goal. This helps you with the organization and structure. I want to dedicate 10 hours a week to my business. All right, cool. You want to dedicate 10 hours to your business a week. So that's your weekly goal. Let's break it down. What does that look like every day? How does that, we've got 5, let's just say we take the weekend off. That's 2 hours a day. What does that look like? Is it from 7 to 8 in the morning? Do you get up an hour early? Is it 6 to 7 in the morning? Is it, when you get home from work? What does that look like? And that goes along with what our DMO is. If you haven't been around a while, you don't know you probably haven't heard DMO, daily method of operation. Okay. It's basically those things every single day that you're going to do. Some of the things on my DMO: take my products, drink my water, my quiet time, reach out, post in Diamond Driven, post on my, those are part of my to-do list every single day. Now, do they change? Yes, but I've got my base list printed out. I've got that printed out. So the other thing, so being organized is huge. Being consistent and disciplined is the other thing. All right. Something small every day. I say this analogy, and I know people have heard it before, but okay, I've got a 1,000-page book. You know, you're reading, I don't know, whatever that big long book is. You're reading Moby Dick, okay? And you've got that long book. Okay, if I just sat there and looked at it and said, I want to read the book, I want to read the book, I want to read the book, but it still sat on my shelf, nothing's going to happen. I've got to take it off the shelf. Even if I read 5 pages a day, at least I'm going to finish the book, right? Eventually I will finish the book. All right. Now, if I wanted to finish it faster, I'm going to read 20 pages a day. I'm going to dedicate and sacrifice and put more time to it. Right. So it's all gauged on what you want. That's why it's important to know what your dreams are. Start big and then go smaller. Okay. And remember that our goals and our daily method of operation, our action plan, it's all breathable. It's all a living object, okay? Things happen. You know, our husband has to go in for surgery, or our kid, you know, has the stomach bug. I mean, things happen, right? So we have to give ourselves some grace to know that, you know what, Tuesday, like it was a rough day. That's okay. Here we go, Wednesday. We're gonna get back on track. All right. So, and I don't know, I fall into that rut, and this kind of goes along with what we talked about last week, but that rut, there was one of the 8 ruts, the rut of perfection. I fall into that. So a lot of times I'm like, oh, you know, I feel like I didn't get it done, but it's okay. It's okay. We got to give ourselves some grace. We're human, right? So, but not doing anything or being intentional or quitting, that's when failure happens. But if we are doing it and we are going for it, and we're doing something every day towards something better, something, our goal, whatever, that's being successful. Okay. So, but, oh, love it, Tegan. Her 6-year-old's talking about making her goals. I love that. Goals are important. I was talking to my daughter, Maggie, about it, because I was like, we were unloading the dishwasher. I was like, okay, I got to do this call, and I want to hear what you think about goals. You know, I want to hear why do you set goals? You know, and so I'm like talking to her, so she's like, well, you got to set a goal in order to get what you want. And, you know, anyway, it was just neat. So I think it's really important for us as parents, for those of us that are on here, to really start teaching our children this. You know, to start teaching that they can do it. They have a goal. They have a goal of keeping their room clean for a day. I mean, you know, right? But which may not happen. But, you know, I mean, that's teaching them. Don't give up on yourself. Believe in yourself. Just like Alaire said, yes. And you know what? A lot about behind our goals is the power of belief. Okay. It's the belief in ourselves, the belief that we can obtain those goals, that we can do it. That lack of, like, that self-worth issue, that I'm not good enough, or dreaming big, or being diamond, those are for other people. Or, you know, being fit and healthy and losing that 50, oh, that's just for other people. I was just, you know, I was just born this way, or I'm just big, whatever it is, those talks that we give ourselves, right? Like that talk where I just call it the devil's talking to me. You know, we've got to turn those around. We've got to change our mindset. Our mindset is huge behind our goals. It's huge behind our goals, and that's why affirmations and telling ourselves every single day, I can do it. I am beautiful. I am smart. People, you know, like me. My kids are, you know what I mean? Talking to yourself and not listening to all that negative self-talk. So, you know, and, you know, let's be real. Emerald. Right? That was my goal this month, right? Emerald. It's not going to happen. But do you know what my goal is next month? Emerald, right? And it's going to happen. And we're going for it. Okay. We need to add 150 new ambassadors to this team next month and get them commission qualified. All right. We can do that. I have had months where I've added 200. Okay. So it can be done. There's a bug. So, but that's my goal. So, okay. And we can do it. We can do it. I've got some people on here that are going for promotions. I know it's going to happen. It is going to happen. All right. So if you want me to help you work with your goals, the other thing, you've got to share your goals. You've got to share them with somebody. Accountability is huge. All right. Find a power partner within our business. If you don't have one, message me. Preferably your power partner it can be your upline. I do believe that you should share your goals with your upline for them to help hold you accountable. But I do believe in the power of a sideline, someone that is either on your team or on another leg's team, somebody that you connect with, okay, where you can share those goals with each other. Hey, how you doing on talking to those 2 new people every single day? How's that coming, right? Hold them accountable. So I think that's really, really important, okay? So anyway, let me see if there's any questions. Yay! Gold to green, 2016. I love that. That is awesome. So, all right. So 2016, guys, is going to be amazing. It is going to be the best year ever, ever. And it's our year, y'all. It is our year. And I believe in each one of you. I know the opportunity isn't there. We have the right products. I mean, look at Alair's story. Oh my gosh, y'all. And there are so many other stories, people on this call that have amazing, amazing stories. We have an amazing compensation plan. Okay. We are in the right place. My cat is trying to get out. Right place at the right time. Okay. So let's make this happen. I believe in each and every one of you. And I know that we can all do it as a team. You guys are the best. I love this team. Love it, love it, love it. So thank you guys so much. I'm 3 minutes over. Super sorry.